This is Earl Nightingale, speaking to you across the decades, from the warm hum of 1950s radio to the glowing screen in your hands today. Before I reveal why the smartest people often fail, and the simple truth that can turn their brilliance into action, I ask you to take a small but vital step. If these words spark even a whisper of recognition in your soul, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and in the comments, share one time you hesitated because you thought you weren't ready. Why? Because this moment could be the key to unlocking your potential. And I want you to join me on this journey to uncover the truth about failure and success. I've met countless brilliant people in my life. Men and women who devoured books by the dozens, who could unravel equations that seemed like the code of the universe, who spoke with wisdom that stopped you in your tracks. Yet so many of them stayed stuck, in debt, in despair, or in obscurity. How could minds so sharp falter? How could such intellect lead to failure? I wrestled with this question for decades, searching for the answer in the lives I saw, the stories I heard, the lessons I learned. And when I found it, the truth was both simple and piercing. Brilliance alone isn't enough. Stay with me, and I'll show you why smart people fail and how you can fix it. I was born in 1921 in Long Beach, California, under the shadow of the Great Depression, a time when survival was a daily battle. My father left when I was 9, leaving my mother to stitch clothes by lamplight to keep us fed. We lived in a tent city where hope was as scarce as bread, and I learned early that life owed you nothing. As a boy, I watched brilliant minds, teachers, engineers, scholars, labor in factories, their dreams buried under the weight of circumstance. I saw others, less educated but fiercely determined, rise above, building lives of purpose. And I began to wonder, what separates the brilliant from the successful? That question followed me into the United States Marines, where I served during the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941, witnessing moments when intellect meant little without action. After the war, in the 1940s, I found my calling behind a microphone, broadcasting to a nation hungry for hope. As a radio host, I met scholars who could quote philosophers and poets who could weave words like magic, yet many lived small lives, trapped by their own doubts. I also met ordinary souls, clerks, mechanics, mothers, who achieved extraordinary things, not because they were smarter, but because they moved forward while others hesitated. In 1956, I poured this insight into The Strangest Secret, a record that sold over 1 million copies and changed lives worldwide. But the heart of that message wasn't just about success. It was about why even the brightest fail. I learned that intelligence, without one critical skill, is like a ship without a rudder, powerful but directionless. That skill, so often ignored by the brilliant, is the key to turning potential into progress. Here's the truth that stings. Smart people fail not because they lack knowledge, but because they lack action. It's not about intellect, it's about direction. The sharpest mind, without a clear path, wanders in circles. Brilliant people hesitate, paralyzed by doubt, overthinking every move, waiting for the perfect moment that never comes. They craft flawless plans in their heads but rarely act on them. They fear failure, so they analyze until analysis becomes their prison. And that's their undoing, not a lack of brilliance, but a lack of movement. The difference between failure and success isn't how much you know, it's how much you do. Intelligence is a lantern, illuminating possibilities, but only action is the road beneath your feet. Smart people often believe they need more knowledge, more certainty, more preparation. But the truth is, they're ready now, and they were ready yesterday. Success doesn't go to the smartest. It goes to the most decisive, the ones who act while others wait, who move while others think, who dare while others doubt. This is the fix. Stop waiting, start doing. You don't need a perfect plan, just a clear goal and the courage to take the next step. Doubt is not your enemy. It's your signal to act. Failure is not your defeat. It's your teacher. The road to success isn't paved with brilliance. It's built with choices, small and consistent, that turn your mind's light into a life's work. Let me take you back to the America of the 1940s to 1980s, a world of struggle and quiet triumphs, where the difference between brilliance and action was laid bare. In 1949, I met a man in Chicago who could recite Shakespeare by heart, his words flowing like a river. He dreamed of teaching literature, but never applied for a teaching job, paralyzed by fear of rejection. He doubted his handshake, his voice, his worth. By 1955, he was still a clerk, his brilliance dimmed by hesitation, while others, less eloquent, taught with passion. In 1953, a woman in Minneapolis wrote poetry that brought tears to those who heard it. She shared it with friends, but never sent it to publishers, convinced it wasn't perfect. She analyzed every line, waiting for the right moment. By 1960, her poems stayed in a drawer, unread by the world, while others, with simpler words, published and inspired. Her talent was vast. Her action was absent. In 1962, a young man in Detroit, with no formal education, caught my radio broadcast. He wasn't brilliant in the classical sense. He couldn't solve complex equations or quote classics, but he wrote down his goal, to start a delivery business. Every day, he took a step, however small, saving money, talking to suppliers, learning from mistakes. By 1967, he ran a company employing dozens. He wasn't the smartest. He was the boldest, acting while others overthought. In 1957, a scholar in St. Louis could debate philosophy for hours, his mind a library of ideas. He dreamed of writing a book, but spent years researching, waiting for the perfect outline. By 1965, his book was still unwritten, while a less learned man, a mechanic, published a simple guide to car repair, helping thousands. The scholar's intellect was unmatched. His action was missing. In 1970, a teacher in Atlanta, gifted with a mind for science, wanted to start a tutoring program. She planned every detail, fearing it wouldn't be flawless. She waited and waited. By 1978, her program never launched, while a colleague, less brilliant but more decisive, taught hundreds. Her knowledge was deep. Her courage was dormant. In 1966, a musician in Cleveland played melodies that haunted the soul. He dreamed of performing but doubted his readiness, refining every note in private. By 1973, he was still unknown, while a less talented singer took to local stages, building a following. The musician's genius was real, his action was not. In 1980, a librarian in rural Oregon, well-read and wise, wanted to create a community reading program. She hesitated, analyzing costs and risks, seeking perfection. By 1987, her plan was still a dream, while a younger woman, with fewer books but more resolve, started a bookmobile that reached thousands. The librarian's mind was a treasure. Her steps were few. And in 1956, when I recorded The Strangest Secret, I wasn't the most educated man in the room. Others knew more, thought deeper, spoke finer. But I acted. I spoke my truth, shared my message, and took the step. That record reached millions, not because I was the smartest, but because I was willing to move while others waited. Here's the painful truth. Smart people build their own cages. They trap themselves in a cycle of doubt, analysis, and delay, believing they need more knowledge, more skills, more certainty before they can act. But life doesn't wait for perfection. It rewards those who move, even imperfectly, even afraid. I've seen brilliant minds waste years, not because they couldn't succeed, but because they wouldn't start. Their intelligence, meant to be a gift, becomes a chain, holding them back from the life they're capable of. Your mind is a tool, but it can also be a maze. Every doubt you entertain, every plan you overthink, every step you delay adds another wall. The world will tempt you to wait for the right time, the right plan, the right you. But there's no such thing. The right time is now. The right plan is the one you act on. The right you is the one who dares. The tragedy isn't failing. It's never trying. The question isn't whether you're smart enough. It's whether you're brave enough to act. I'm not here to flatter your intellect. I'm here to awaken your action. The reason smart people fail is they don't believe they're ready. But the truth is, you're ready now. You were ready yesterday. Success doesn't come to the most brilliant. It comes to the most determined, the ones who turn thought into motion, doubt into decision, fear into fuel. Your intelligence is a lantern, but only action lights the way. This is your challenge. For the next 30 days, act before you overthink. Every morning, pick one clear goal, something that matters to you. Write it down to make it real. Think about it briefly, then act on it for 1 hour each day, no matter how small the step. Write a page, make a call, learn a skill, try something new. Don't wait for certainty. Act and find it. Don't fear mistakes. Learn from them. Don't seek perfection. Seek progress. Your mind is ready. Your courage is waiting. You're not here to think your way to success. You're here to act your way there. The road isn't built with ideas. It's paved with choices, one step at a time. Stop analyzing. Start moving. Be the one who acts while others wait. Tomorrow, when you wake, you'll face the same choice. Think or act. Wait or move. Doubt or dare. The world will tempt you to stay in your head, to plan and ponder until the moment passes. But you know the truth. Brilliance without action is a dream unfulfilled, a light unshared. Your intelligence is a gift, but your action is your power. Every step you take, every choice you make, every moment you act is a seed planted for the life you're meant to live. Look not to your mind for answers, but to your feet for progress. What you do each day, not what you know, shapes your destiny. A single action, rooted in courage, can outshine 1,000 thoughts. The wisest idea, without movement, fades. The simplest step, with faith, grows into greatness. You're not just smart. You're capable of more than you've dared to try. Act now, and let your brilliance become your breakthrough. This is your moment to stop waiting and start becoming. Your goal isn't just a thought. It's a call to action. Your doubts aren't barriers. They're invitations. Your life isn't a test of intellect. It's a canvas for courage. Act, and you'll find a success that waits not for the smartest, but for the boldest. This is Earl Nightingale, signing off, but not before I leave you with a mission that could change everything. If this truth about action over intellect has awakened something in you, a spark of courage, a glimpse of your own path, don't let it fade. Share this video with one person trapped between brilliance and fear, someone ready to take their step. Hit that like button to spread this truth to others searching for it. Subscribe so we can walk this path together, day by day, as you turn thought into action. And in the comments below, tell me, what's the one goal you'll act on today? And what's the first step you'll take? Your words could inspire someone else to move, maybe even yourself. This is your moment, my friend. Act it, live it, become it.